What's up, two viewers? My name is Pax, and I'm speaking facts. And today, I'm here to talk to you guys about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'm back like scoliosis and halitosis, and today, I'm gonna react to the notion that there's some people out here that are just above the law. Now, just like everything else in life, there's levels to it. There's levels to everything. But diplomatic immunity goes a long way. And some people are just so rich that they themselves or possibly even their kids can go out and pretty much do whatever they want and get away with it. So that's what we're going to go over here and check out today. I'm going to leave my colorful commentary along the way. We're going to check out Trap University, and I'm going to react to what's going on and the notion that some people are just above the law. So you guys bear with me and let's see what they have to say as I leave my colorful commentary along the way.
Influence to avoid legal consequences. Not exactly a new concept, and sometimes this takes the form of diplomatic immunity, which is a pretty crazy concept, but it does exist. There are people walking around that do not have to face legal consequences.
Tell you what we can do. I'm gonna pay, you gonna pay.
No, I'm not gonna pay.
You don't know who you're talking to. Just the bottom line. I'm not gonna get no, I have diplomatic immunity.
You know you're wrong.
You know why I find a lot of cops like you dead? Because you're going to people in the wrong way. I can make
Everybody
one phone call right now, and I'll be the only man standing right here right now.
Plenty of
That man said, I'll make one phone call right now and I'll be the only one standing here at the end of that phone call. That's some pretty brazen talk to talk to the police like that on the side of the freeway, man. That dude is convinced that he is shielded with diplomatic immunity. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Y'all got to roll in the best of circles, man. I don't seem to have that type of coverage right now, but hey, if anybody out there's listening and they want to give your boy diplomatic immunity, I'm all for it, man.
diplomats have gotten away with serious crimes. But when the son of an Israeli diplomat who hit a cop on purpose with a motorcycle got community service, I started to suspect that even though this kid didn't have diplomatic immunity, his father's immunity also kinda applied to him. Russian diplomats owe more than $100,000 in New York City parking tickets, and that only made the news to cover up the fact that diplomats from multiple countries have racked up over $16 million in parking tickets just in New York City because they just couldn't be bothered to pay.
No comments.
You're parked in a firefighter's spot. Should you be there?
I'm not sure whether you're allowed to answer to ask me this question.
She parked the car illegally, then walked right by another diplomatic car. You guessed it, parked on the sidewalk.
But
Man, that's crazy, man. Dude said, I don't even know if you allowed to be asking me these questions, partner. And I don't like your tone. You need to give me 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? And, the woman, she put her nose in the air immediately. She parked her car on the sidewalk because they know there's no consequences. That is entitlement at its finest, you guys.
is $1 billion enough to get away with crime as far as money? Well, it doesn't seem like it. Billionaires actually go to prison all the time. It's usually only the people worth $1 to $10 billion. Once you get up to $50 billion and over, it seems like the law becomes more of a suggestion. And a good example is if you compare Sam Bankman-Fried's case and that of Changpeng Zhao, a man accused by the US government of pretty much the exact same crime. They both created crypto companies and committed a $1 billion fraud. Sam even accused this guy of stealing over $1 billion from him. But as far as punishment, Zhao was sentenced to 4 months, and he was even granted a presidential pardon. Meanwhile, Sam Bankman-Fried got 25 years. But maybe that's because Sam only had a measly $11 billion.
Okay, so what the French, first of all. Secondly, $1 to $10 billion. I mean, that ain't enough. That you still go to prison for that much, y'all. So you're gonna need a little bit more than that. You're gonna need about upwards of 30, 40, 50 billy goats to stay up out of there, man. But that'll do it though.
Which the feds froze anyway. But since Zhao is worth over $80 billion, the $1 million he spent to lobby for a pardon was nothing to him. Walmart heiress Alice Walton has been in several driving-related incidents that for a normal person would have probably resulted in criminal charges, but for her, she seemingly just got off scot-free.
Got to. First of all, she's the Walmart heiress. Shout out to her. Look at those earrings. Don't even ask if they're real. Because, her daddy was Sam Walton, and he created Walmart. So he broke up when he passed away. He left everybody in his family tree billionaires. They collectively are the richest people on the planet, hands down.
Once in 1998, which is her most famous arrest because she told the cop, quote, "I'm Alice Walton, bitch," after she hit a gas meter.
That
and
part.
Then in 2011, she was caught driving drunk again, but not charged. Just like she wasn't charged or even arrested for hitting a woman with her Porsche in the 80s. But again, Walmart.
And that goes without saying. There is no way to hold these type of people accountable. They're too rich. Their money is too long, and you get one of them behind the walls, and they're gonna start corrupting shit.
She is literally the richest woman alive. So even though a guy like Diddy is a billionaire, it doesn't seem like he had enough money. $1 billion might spare you from the most serious charges, but 20 and up, like I said, it gets scary. And let's get to the scary part really briefly. An heir to the DuPont family and another heir of the S.C. Johnson family were both accused and found guilty of sex crimes. One guy against his biological daughter and the other guy against his stepdaughter.
Hold on, both of them were found guilty of what?
What the fuck?
Against their biological siblings and children and family? That is man, that's morbid.
Hi, is this Mr. Johnson?
Yeah.
Colleen Henry from Channel 12. How are you?
I am not interested in talking, sorry.
Johnson spent the afternoon at home at his gated Racine estate, free on $500,000 million.
Using money and influence to avoid legal consequences. Not exactly a new concept, and sometimes this takes the form of diplomatic immunity, which is a pretty crazy concept, but it does exist. There are people walking around that do not have to face legal consequences.
Tell you what we can do.
I'm gonna pay, you gonna pay.
No, I'm not gonna pay.
You don't know who you're talking to. Just the bottom line. I'm not gonna get no, I have diplomatic immunity.
You know you're wrong.
You know why I find a lot of cops like you dead? Because you come under people in the wrong way.
Man, this dude is brave. He's built. He looked like he's fresh off a zebra's back from chasing down a gazelle for dinner. He's not playing. He's talking to that police officer like he's a little boy. He's got his shoulders squared. He's about to ask him what you want to do. You know why I find a lot of cops like you guys unalived? Man, that is bold, bruh.
Everybody right now, and I'll be the only man standing right here right now.
Plenty of diplomats have gotten away with serious crimes. But when the son of an Israeli diplomat who hit a cop on purpose, Andrew lost his royal title for being the easiest guy to throw under the Epstein bus because this guy grew up as a prince, so he's likely never even considered the possibility of being charged as a criminal, so he was probably the sloppiest guy on the flight logs. But this was still a punishment, I guess, and being punished to move into the 20,000-acre Sandringham estate.
This is his punishment, you guys. This is like, have you guys remember Back to America, Coming to America? Remember Coming to America? When the Princess of Zamunda, when he was punishing, his son, man, listen, man, hey, this is punishment for what he was accused of.
A horrible punishment to move to an estate bigger than the Vatican City. Now, officially, he'll just be in a house on the estate and not in the main castle, I guess. Some people in the UK can't even afford the light bill.
Beautiful.
But what's the craziest bail
gorgeous.
amount you've ever heard? It wasn't the highest one ever set, but in 2018, a woman was released on a $100 million bail. Claire is an heiress of the Seagram Liquor family, and she—
What the fuck was that?
Man, $150 million bail? Are you kidding me?
was part of a sex trafficking cult that featured many actresses, wealthy old men, and even a Serbian man. Sometimes I feel like I run across shit that nobody else was supposed to know, but it even featured a Serbian noblewoman. Royalty, actually, is what she is. This woman, who is related to the British, Greek, and Danish royal families, was groomed to be a concubine for the cult's leader, Keith.
You guys hear that lineage, man? And then she was basically raised to be a concubine to this dude, man. Hey, man, listen.
Raniere. Her great-grandmother is a cousin of King Charles's father. Now, Keith was sentenced to 120 years, but Claire, despite being a leader and financially backing the cult along with her sister, served 4 years and was released in 2024.
So what do you guys think, man? Let me get a 1 in the comments, man. If you guys think that some people are above the law, or 2, if you guys think that, hey, justice prevails no matter who you are in this country. Let me know. Get in the comment section and let me know now. Y'all be honest. 1s and 2s, let me see them.
Her sister, who also funded the cult, was never even charged. But despite paying for the sex trafficking cult, she and her sister were also considered to be victims of the group at the same time, so that might explain the leniency, along with her family's immense wealth. Now, moving on, I want to briefly talk about the children of people with sovereign immunity. So, sovereign immunity is the law that says you're the president, so you are immune to prosecution in your own courts. And since I'm going to bring up Benjamin Netanyahu's son, I'll use Benjamin as an example of other countries imposing criminal charges on.
Y'all know who Benjamin Netanyahu is, man. And if you don't know, you need to know, man. This dude right here, hey.
The head of state. So, the Israeli prime minister became the first head of state backed by the West to ever have an international warrant. So technically, this means that every country in green is supposed to arrest him if he ever sets foot in it.
And that's currently. Right now, I'm pretty sure that Interpol has a current arrest warrant out for him, meaning that every one of these places in green are supposed to arrest him on site.
And to be clear, I don't have a problem with the average Israeli citizen. If you love war and racism, I don't really view you any differently than some lunatic in rural Texas that hates hearing Spanish despite living in a state that used to be part of Mexico. In
Shots
Israel,
fired.
It would be silly for me to blame everyone for the actions of the government. For comparison, I was in like 2nd grade when we invaded Iraq. I didn't approve of that, nor did the United States government consult me or my parents before they went in. Israel
They didn't consult me or my parents either, man.
Israel's government is essentially probably similar to what would happen if the United States was a Middle Eastern country instead of being in its own sphere of the planet. That being said, the Prime Minister's son used a state-funded security guard and driver to take him and his friends to a strip club.
Netanyahu's son right here. These are alleged to what he did.
Now, is this illegal? No, I don't think. Is it a waste of taxpayer money? For sure. But when he tried to guilt trip his rich friend into giving him 400 shekels, which is about 125 US dollars, he mentioned that his father had gotten his friend's father a $20 billion gas deal. He also said he paid a prostitute and even offered his girlfriend as payment since he, quote, had to fix her up with everyone because he was paying off debts. Now that sounds like nepotism, prostitution, and sex trafficking.
And a little bit of pimping. Sprinkle me now.
I'm not sure about the legality of offering your girlfriend to pay off debts.
I'm sure of them. I know a lot of people, some of which you guys may have heard about in the news recently, that are being charged with sex trafficking, pimping and pandering, prostitution, you name it. You know, they get the whole lot of it. So, you know, hey.
His friend and bodyguard also called him a dumbass, so that's pretty funny. But as a citizen, he was required to join the IDF. But he went AWOL to go have dinner and was sentenced to 21 days. But after saying he was sorry, the sentence was cut short and he was released early. So at the very least, I guess this would just be a misuse of government funds, but people get away with that all the time. While lower level politicians all over the world get accused and punished for misusing public funds, the higher up the ladder you go, the less likely you are to face consequences.
I'm not sure how y'all feel about this whole debauchery, but I really don't have a lot of sympathy for most of these people, man, because they have, some of the faces that are popping up on this screen have been accused of some of the most heinous crimes known to, modern day courts.
Seems.
Did you take the money? At one stage you had $40,000 cash sitting in front of you. Did you take it?
Absolutely, yes.
But that was a brief rundown on how people with enough money and influence get away with crime on a daily basis right in front of us. But thank you guys for watching as always. We're on the road to 200K subscribers.
So how do y'all feel, man? Y'all let me know. Like I said, get in the comment section. This was an interesting topic. Are people out here above the law? 1 billion, 2, 3 billion. We saw Diddy we've seen Martha Stewart go. We've seen a couple billionaires go down. Friedman, there's a lot of them, but some of them, they got that big billions. They worth more than just a few billion. They don't seem to be held accountable. That diplomatic community also seems to be great insulation from the law. Y'all let me know what y'all think. My name is Pax, and I'm just here to bring these facts, man. And until next time, y'all get together with somebody that you don't know. Just have a regular conversation with them, man. See what they talking about. Take care of yourselves, man. And I'm out of here.